Lila was 65 years old. Her hands carried the story of decades. Her eyes held the weight of love and sorrow, but her spirit was still unbroken, still bright, still full of hope, even when life had tried to dim her light. At her husband's funeral, Lila stood quietly off to the side, her heart heavy, her mind swirling with memories of 40 years together, 40 years of sacrifice, devotion, and silent patience. She remembered the first day she had met Robert, the way he smiled, the way he had promised the world to her, and she had believed him. Her son Daniel stood at the podium, his voice trembling as he thanked another woman, the one he called truly family. In that moment, Lila felt invisible, unnoticed, like she had never existed in her own life, like the world had quietly erased her from it. She watched the woman in the front row, dressed perfectly, smiling softly with tears in her eyes, and she felt a cold ache that reached into her bones. But Lila was no stranger to pain. She had survived storms before. She had raised her son with tireless devotion. She had managed every corner of their home. She had given up her career, her dreams, her every comfort, so that her family could thrive. And she knew in her heart that this moment, though painful, was not the end. Robert had died suddenly in a car accident, and Lila had believed in the neat order of life, in the rhythm of appearances. She had smiled at the memorial, greeted guests, stood tall and dignified, while her soul whispered in grief. Yet what cut the deepest was not the death, but the betrayal, the hidden life. She had never known the years of deceit that had shadowed her reality. When the lawyer informed her of Robert's will, Lila felt as if the ground had opened beneath her. The assets, the home, the vacation property, the accounts, all left to the woman Daniel had thanked. All those years of dedication seemed invisible, yet in the quiet of her heart a seed of resolve began to grow. She realized that life had not ended. She could begin again, even now, even after betrayal, even after loss. Lila remembered her own strength, the nights she had stayed awake by her son's bed, the afternoons she had managed illnesses and crises, the countless small acts of courage and patience that no one had seen. She thought of all she had given and all she could still give to herself. She could no longer wait for the world to recognize her. She had to claim her own life, her own story, her own happiness. The days that followed were filled with discovery. Lila uncovered hidden letters, photos, and records. She learned of the properties of the woman who had taken her place. She realized the truth of Robert's deception and of the complicity she had feared in her son. Yet, she did not crumble. She prepared herself with calm determination. She would face the truth, and she would survive. She would rise above it. She enlisted the help of trusted friends and legal experts. She gathered evidence. She organized documents and photos. She found strength in her own clarity and purpose. She no longer questioned her worth or doubted her courage. She was Lila, 65 years old, a woman who had endured and who now would reclaim what was hers, not just in material, but in dignity and self-respect. In court, she spoke her truth with quiet authority. She told the story of 40 years of sacrifice, of love that never sought recognition. She told of the betrayal she had endured and the courage she had found within herself. She did not speak with anger. She spoke with clarity, with strength, with a calm, unyielding heart. The judge recognized the injustice and ruled in her favor, returning to her what had been stolen and affirming her dignity and worth. Through it all, Lila never lost sight of herself. She nurtured her own spirit. She spent time in the garden, walking in the sunlight, reading books she had long put aside. She reconnected with friends and with herself. She realized that her life was her own, her happiness, her choice. She had survived the storm and emerged stronger, wiser, braver than she had ever imagined. Her son Daniel slowly came to understand. He apologized for his blindness and his words of years before. Lila forgave him. She embraced him not with anger, but with love and compassion. They rebuilt their bond slowly, carefully, with honesty and understanding. Lila saw in him the boy she had raised and the man he could be. She was proud of his eventual clarity and courage. Lila learned that the true price of a mother's love is not measured by recognition or reward, but by resilience, by courage, by the willingness to rise again, even when the world turns its back. She understood that her value was never in what others gave her, but in what she had built within herself. Her life, her love, her spirit were hers alone, and no betrayal could diminish them. In the quiet of the evening, she would sit under the old maple tree in her yard, feeling the wind brush against her face. She would smile at the blooms in her garden and whisper to herself, "You are still here, you have survived, you have grown, you are free." And for the first time in many years, Lila felt the deep, unshakable joy of being alive fully, completely, and entirely for herself. And so Lila, 65 years old, found not an end but a beginning. She turned pain into strength, betrayal into clarity, loss into freedom. Her story became one of courage, of perseverance, of the extraordinary resilience of the human heart. Her life a testament to the enduring power of a mother's love, a love that asks nothing but gives everything and rises again.